I'm going to show you how to get clients without ads. But before I do that, there's something you need to know. There are people out there saying you have to run ads if you want to win clients, and that's simply not true. I built my company to 2 million in revenue without a single ad before we decided to scale it to the next level. And I'm not against ads. There's a time and place for them. But here's the beauty when you start without ads. You have absolute proof that your product works or that it doesn't. In other words, that it's a market fit. If you start your company and you're not getting any sales, and so you start running ads to get sales, that's a big dangerous move because you end up spending a lot of time and a lot of money. And if you're new to it, you're learning as you go, so you're prone to mistakes before you even know if people love your product. First launch, get your product out there, start closing sales, winning clients, getting feedback. Once it's validated, then you can use ads to scale to the next level. Okay, let me jump in. I'm gonna show you how to do this. Oh, and by the way, this applies to any business model that is high ticket. Watch this. Okay, first, let me give you the high level view. First, you have YouTube. So you're gonna use a platform like YouTube to grab their attention. People need to know about your product. The way I do it is I make videos that are of high value to my ideal client. So I don't do like really broad general business videos. Usually they're very focused on the kind of person who wants to turn their talent into a digital business course to make a lot of money while impacting lives around the world. But this principle will apply to any industry out there. So you start with YouTube and you use it to generate leads, to get people interested. Once they find you're helping them, you invite them into a free community or what could be called a lead magnet. And in my case, this is a free community where people can join and they get a free mini course and they get to consume that content and interact with the community and they love it. Let's say you're starting a software company. You could give them a free trial version of the software. Let's say you're doing consultation. You could give them a free 30-minute consultation strategy session before they decide if they want to buy your product. Let's say you do a done-for-you service helping people with marketing. You could do a free analysis of their marketing setup and give them feedback. And once they see that, then they can decide, okay, I'm ready to pay for the product. I have a friend here in Austin who runs a cybersecurity company. And what he does is when someone is interested, he gives them a free analysis of the threats to their entire company and all of their tools that they're using. And then he meets with them, and that's when he pitches his product. That's your lead magnet. That's what this is for me, the free community. Now, once they're inside our community or they have access to your high value thing for free, there are 3 primary tools we use to upgrade them to the paid community. And in this case, there's a mini course, which they get for free. And the last video of the mini course pitches the product or Skool posts inside the community or DMs, directly messaging them. You know what's cool about Skool? Cool about Skool is it will actually auto DM them for you once they join. Anything you want to say to get them plugged in quickly, you can send that. And then later you can follow up and say, what did you think? What are your thoughts? Any feedback? Would you be interested in our purchase program? By the way, we also included something called onboarding calls where people get a ton of value in that call. They get to book it, you help them out, you give them advice. And then if they are interested in the paid version, you can take them through an entire presentation of that paid version. It works really well. Every single client I have won for Craftsman to date has been without running a single ad. Once they're inside your paid community and they taste and see that it's really good, then you can pitch to them your elite community or your elite product. This is like your premium product. Now, not everyone's going to buy it, but when people get results for the paid, they're going to think, wait a minute, this is just simple math. You know, it's like the concept, if I invest 10,000 and there's a high chance that 50,000 is going to pop back out for me, I'm going to invest that 10,000. And if before I invested 1,000 and 5,000 came back, well, why wouldn't I invest the 10,000 for a chance to get the 50,000 to come back? You see the logic? That's the idea. But notice something, and this is what so many entrepreneurs miss. Notice we started with YouTube. They don't know who you are. They don't trust you. They don't know you. And you're just giving away really good content. And I'm going to give you 3 strategies, by the way, when you make YouTube videos in just a minute. Then it moves to free community. Now it's one step closer to you because they see how you're interacting with other people. They see your free course. It's very focused. You're answering their questions. You're providing support. And then when they join your paid community, now they're really invested. They've paid you with money for you to help them. And now they're getting incredible support, like multiple times a day, which is what we do. And then finally, when they get to the mastermind, that's where they pay the most and they're getting top-notch support. We actually include in our mastermind where we fly to the client for 2 days and help them with their business in person all day, every day, hanging out, answering questions. It's really, really cool. And by the way, you can apply this to any high-ticket program, consulting, even software that isn't high-ticket necessarily, it applies. Consultation, high-ticket coaching, courses, those kinds of products. I want to show you this from the customer's perspective. And we're going to do it from the perspective of good old Bobby McGee, who we all love. So you created YouTube content that you love and you're good at. And by the way, I've had a few people say, Seth, I'm worried if I start a channel like YouTube, I'm going to be boring. Even if you are flatline boring. Has anyone ever told you you're boring when you were talking about something you love, like a movie you loved, a TV show you watched, the girl that you just met who you're now dating and you think she might be your wife in the future, a new workout program you discovered? Like, think about when you love what you are talking about, you are by nature interesting and your personality just comes out all over the place. Next, your content naturally attracts Bobby McGee looking for help on your topic. He's like, hey, I'm looking for how to train my golden retriever. Oh, he teaches a video on how to get my dog to stop barking at everything. Perfect. And then he notices the link at the bottom of the YouTube video, which you also mentioned. By the way, if you want to get access to our free mini course and a free school community, you can join here. Well, why not? So he joins. And now, here's the really cool part. We set this up so that Bobby is incentivized to go through the course. Because if he doesn't complete it within a limited time frame, he loses access. Actually, we were so brutal with this at one point that anyone who didn't finish it was kicked out of the group and banned permanently. And we did that one time because there were so many people in the group who weren't interacting. Like, nothing is more depressing than having a community of 30,000 people, but 29,999 of them say nothing and do nothing. It's not a community anymore. It's like a graveyard. So it's better to get people in there who are very active and engaged. Scientists did a test where they had a mouse go through a tube and they put cheese on the end. And of course, the mouse went through much more quickly. And then when they added the smell of a cat on the other end, the mouse raced through that tube like lightning. Because there were two incentives. There was a positive incentive, the cheese, and there was a negative incentive, the smell of the cat. If you can include both to get someone to consume whatever it is you're giving them, far more people will end up purchasing your product. Let me put it this way. I had a friend who recommended I get this book, Stealing Fire. So I purchased it. Why did it sit on my shelf for month after month after month? Because I had no incentive for reading it now versus later. And by nature, as humans, if I can read something or do something later instead of now, and there's no reason to do it now more than later, I'm going to do it later, which means I'll never do it. You know, back in the day when you could check out a book at a library, there was incentive. I have to return this thing in 2 weeks, and if I don't, I get a fee, and I don't want to have to check it out again, so I'm going to read it. It's the same concept. Whatever your lead magnet is, like if it's a free version of your software, why not include incentivization and say something like, hey, if you go through this setup, we're going to send you a reward. Or if you don't sign in or register by this date, you're going to lose access. Do something where they receive something good and they lose something good. If they don't complete it by a time frame, far more people will consume what's free, which means far more people will end up buying. Why? I'll show you. Check this out. If Bobby finishes by the deadline, he gets lifetime access and a reward. That's how we do it in our community. What's the end result? A community of ideal clients. The only people who are going to consume your lead magnet are people who are actually interested. So now, what's drawing people into your community? Well, the fact that the community is about a topic that is the same as the product that you sell. So all of these are prospects for you. A community of action takers. They were incentivized to do something. Like, these people could be in 15 other communities, but the only one they're actually taking action and going through the mini course on is yours. Why? Because you incentivize them. And by the way, at the end of each video that they watch for the free mini course, they're required to do an assignment. When they do an assignment, that means they have to do something in the community. When they do something in the community, that increases the engagement. And do you know what happens when engagement goes up for a community on school? I'm going to show you. Look at this. Name something you would like me to search. Got it. Probiotics. This is a huge topic right now, and it's growing. Look at this. The top communities showing at the top of the page are at the top because they have the highest engagement rate. More people are interacting. Which means when you build in incentivization to finish your free mini course and you include in there activities they need to do, and those activities are in the community, what happens? Your community ranks more, which means more people will find your community on school. School is awesome. It is like Google. It has its own ecosystem. On Google, if you search for something, it ranks based on authority. And if there's a lot of other people who are consuming that content or linking to it, it's going to rank higher. Well, in a similar way, when a lot of people are interacting inside your community, it ranks higher, which means more people discover it, which means more people go through your course. See the flywheel? It is literally built to create acceleration for you, hands off. And then it frees you to focus on answering their questions, providing support, helping them succeed, closing sales. Let's finish the customer journey. So you end up with a higher ranking school community and you get more sales. Now you're probably thinking, well, Seth, how does that get me more sales? Let me explain. Inside your lead magnet, make sure somewhere along there you pitch your offer. And if the word pitch offer makes you like, oh, salesy, high pressure, I encourage you to rethink how you view sales. If you had a bad experience with a salesperson, does not mean sales are bad. It's like a hammer. Look, I used to build houses with my dad. If one day I smash my finger with the hammer, done this many times, I'm like, oh, I hate hammers. Hammers are bad. Yucky. I'm gonna have trouble building a house without a hammer. If you don't like sales, then don't plan on making a lot of money. You need to do sales if you want to make money for your business. The key issue is how it is done. And let me show you how we do it. It's very simple. We're upfront about it. We're honest. We want to make money. We're not shy about that. Of course we want to make money. Who goes into business who doesn't want to make money? When you pitch your offer in the mini course, tell them, hey, here's how we can help you if you're interested. Let me walk you through exactly what we do and blow them away with the value. And then once they consume all of that, at the end, we give them an opportunity to apply to join the community where they have to meet with me. And they're not just vetting me, I am vetting them to make sure they will fit the community and add a lot of value because I want a very tight-knit, strong community who is on fire, helping each other make money while impacting the world. By the way, you might be thinking, well, Seth, okay, what do I give them as the reward to incentivize them? And if they don't do something by a certain deadline, they lose that reward. Well, if you're doing a digital course business, I recommend you give them a high-value training. Here's what I did. I took 10 years of making offers, trying and failing and succeeding, building a $50 million company. I took everything I learned from that and I put it into one packed video full of tactical how-to content. So they can take that and they can use it to double their sales. The video techniques are so effective, I guarantee them, if they apply these, their sales will double. And in the end, you have more sales and you get to help more people and they're happy because they're getting what they want as well. By the way, did you know that Crunch Fitness is doing this? Like, check this out. So just a few days ago, my son, who has a membership there, brought me in as a guest and they had me fill out this form and include my phone number and look at what they texted me over and over and over and over again. Look at this. Crunch, Cedar Park, only 2 days left. Join any plan, 1 cent plus 1 month free. Do you realize they're doing exactly the same thing that I just taught you today? The lead magnet is 30 days free at their gym. And here's the idea. Once I've been there for a while and I get used to using their machines and their weights and even their tire pulling thing, which is pretty cool, what happens after 30 days? I do nothing and I get charged. That's why they want that 1 cent. In order to charge me a penny, I have to put in my payment info. And so after the 30 days is up, then they'll start charging me monthly. It's a brilliant, brilliant plan and it works. And no wonder Crunch Fitness is absolutely exploding right now. Okay, I promised you I would give you 3 tips for making your YouTube videos that win clients. So here we go. Number 1, make them precise. Solve a very specific problem. For example, how to deliver a pickleball serve is much better than a video on how to play sports. Number 2, make them pivotal. This means your unique take on a topic. For example, why pickleballers overuse the dink shot. That is a pivotal type content because it's mind shifting. You're influencing what I think about some kind of perspective. You're literally getting an example from this video right now. Like, I'm seeking to change your mind from thinking that you have to run ads from day one to build a successful business to realizing you do not have to run ads. In fact, it's often better to start with no ads until you know that you nailed your product market fit. So first, you want to make your YouTube videos precise. Second, pivotal. Third, practical, step by step. An example would be like this: 3 ways to use the dink shot to destroy your opponent. Now, you might have noticed this. You probably thought about this already. You are actually in this adless funnel right now, and you're at the top of the funnel, the YouTube video. But having said that, I promise you this. When you're inside our free community, You're not going to get some hard pitch and sell. You're going to get a ton of super helpful, valuable content. We obsessed over how we put it together to make it as easy and scalable for you so you can start moving forward to build your digital business, to make another income stream. So click the link below. At least check it out. It costs you nothing. And say hello to the other dudes. They're pretty cool. I'll see you in the next one.